management of the Kenya National Library Service and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 10, motion. Consideration of a report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on its consideration of a petition to the Senate by Mr. Laban Omusundi regarding the enactment of a legal framework to provide for recall of the President or a governor through a citizen initiative.
Senator Manzu, as the mover, you have 12 minutes to conclude your reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today you had another petition by Omusudi, and you can see he's very concerned with the public issues. In this petition, he had been concerned that we should make a law as a House that we allow or pass a law that citizens can recall the President or recall a governor where the House has not been able to do so, although the House is allowed to impeach a president and the County Assembly is allowed to impeach a governor. The reason he gave was that the National Assembly member and a County Assembly member is recallable by the public. And at the same time, Mr. Speaker, is now seeking through this petition that we make a law that the people are allowed to recall the president or in the case of a governor, the residents of that county can recall their governor. Mr. Speaker, we went through this petition. We consulted the Attorney General. There was an input from the Attorney General. There are case laws which has discussed this issue and found that it cannot be performed the way the petitioner, Mr. Omusundi, wants it done. And Mr. Speaker, we also consulted the Law Reform Commission. We also consulted CAF, the County Assembly's Forum, and any other Kenyan who was interested in this matter. We did our level best, Mr. Speaker, to bring a report to this House, and we found out the way it had been framed and the way it has been requested, unless there's a referendum, Mr. Speaker, we are not able to pass a law like that because it's a way of amending the Constitution through the back door. And the Constitution itself provides methods on which it can be amended and on what issues it can be amended. And therefore, on this particular one, his petition was rejected by the committee, and that's why we have reported to the Senate, and that in the event he still wants to pursue the same, Mr. Speaker, sir, the way we want to pursue the same, it cannot be done in that particular manner, but it can go to referendum. And therefore, it should introduce a popular initiative to be able to achieve this particular way and method of making an effort, Mr. Speaker, to have this sort of request made. And therefore, the House, in the Constitution, and in accordance with the court judgments which have been delivered and opinions, this House cannot be able to initiate a law of that nature. It will be unconstitutional to a large extent, and therefore, that opportunity is not completely blocked out. But, Mr. Speaker, we found out that he reasoned that there are frustrations which made him come to that conclusion, that he had a feeling, and together with many Kenyans, that when members of the House were not dealing with that matter of accountability in terms of the presidency and in terms of the governors, the way they felt, Mr. Speaker, we should do. He felt that there was a frustration growing in the country, and he felt that that's the thinking, that there must be two ways, that either you impeach through the House or people have a direct way of impeachment, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, this particular issue, Mr. Speaker, could not be handled the way it had been requested. And every Kenyan, Mr. Speaker, as you've put it today, is allowed by law to come before the House, present any issue, petition in any matter, even under Article 37 of the Constitution, and this House helps in resolve that matter. Mr. Speaker, that is exactly what we have done, and we are encouraging Mr. Msudi and any other Kenyan who has these ideas and who have that feeling that there are two houses could not be doing enough, that still they have an opportunity to bring amendments to the Constitution through a referendum, and the same could be agreed. But as the way the Constitution is framed currently, Mr. Speaker, this could not happen. Mr. Speaker, I am grateful and I thank you for giving the opportunity. I reply. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I do request that the putting of the question in this matter be put on a later date.
Indeed, the putting of this question is deferred to a later date. Now, honorable senators, allow me, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, to rearrange today's order paper, and we move to order number 23. Clerk, you may proceed to call that order.
Order number 23, the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025. Second reading, resumption of debate.
Now, honorable senators, the floor is open to debate. Now, honorable senators will defer that order and move to Senator Sifuna. You know you cannot raise on a point of order unless you're seeking a different thing altogether. What's your intervention?
Chair, I was prepared to contribute to order number 23. Perhaps there is a special reason why we can't proceed with it.
Yeah,
should I approach the chair?
Yeah, you may approach the chair. Yeah. Honorable senators, I'll proceed to propose the question that is on order number 23, which is that the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, Senate Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025, be now read a second time. So the floor is now open to debate. The Honorable Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this bill. First, I don't know if other members have noticed, but the version of the bill that is on our gadgets, Honorable Speaker, misses a critical part, which I always start with when debating any bills in this House, which is the memorandum of objects and reasons. I don't see it in the version that is, on our gadgets there. It always points to the import of the legislation, why it is necessary for us to bring these amendments to the Roads Act. Mr. Speaker, this is an area that has had a lot of debate. Because, Honorable Speaker, you know that if you go to the 4th schedule of the Constitution makes reference to only 2 types of roads. That is the national trunk roads under the 4th schedule and county roads. There are no other roads, Honorable Speaker. And we have really suffered here in Nairobi because sometimes, Honorable Speaker, we don't know which agency is responsible for which road. Yesterday, I told you I was in Lavington area. I was telling this story in the morning. I visited Ndoto Road in Lavington. It is in bad shape. And the residents there also tell us that there is proper confusion as to who is responsible for that particular road. Then, Honorable Speaker, I have complaints also from residents of Karen. Some roads there, when you ask who's responsible for the upkeep of that road, Kera tell you, or the national government says it's supposed to be county government say that is a national road. So there are positives that I can see in this particular bill, but I want to start with the problems, Honorable Speaker. Because you can see that as from the 4th schedule, as I've said, there are only 2 levels of roads. And my expectation with this bill was that it was going to bring more clarity. But I can assure you, I am more confused as to the types and levels of roads now after reading this bill than I was before. Because, Honorable Speaker, I think they have created a vast number of new roads and stuck most of them under the national government. If you go to the bill itself, and you will see they have created something they are calling national roads, then they have created urban roads, then there's A3 rural roads, then there's something they are calling security roads, then there's something they are calling last mile city roads. And Speaker, if you read the descriptions there, I am sure I'm not the only one in this House. I think you have to be an engineer to actually understand the language that is employed in the 1st schedule to know which road is which one. So, Speaker, when you go to that 1st schedule, you have all this new terminology that is being used. And when you read the description, for instance, Speaker, if I can just pick one, there is something called rural roads, secondary, national trunk roads. Then it says roads linking major designated towns and forming a continuous network with Class A and Class B roads. Special purpose roads, roads providing direct access to places of specific national, social, or economic importance, including industrial and commercial areas and government institutions such as schools, hospitals, prisons, government housing. Security roads, roads strategic to national security as identified by the ministry responsible for internal security and communicated to the minister from time to time. Now, if you just consider the architecture of our country, even just this city, you will find that most of these institutions that are being referenced here will fall along the same road, So the confusion here, Honorable Speaker, is going to be quite palpable. Part B of that classification is what they are calling county roads. So the county roads are Class D, E, and I think DU and EU. Yeah? So, Speaker, in my view, they have actually made it worse in terms of our understanding of which road is a national trunk road and which one is a county road. I don't think that the descriptions that are being used here are actually constitutional in my view, because the Constitution has already specified that the national government is only responsible for national trunk roads. And everybody knows what a national trunk road is. A national trunk road is the level of, for instance, the A104, the famous A104 that links Nairobi to the western part. And I think the one from Nairobi to Mombasa, that's a national trunk road. We don't expect that counties will do such work. But if you see that description that is there in the schedule, Honorable Speaker, I think we are going to have challenges going forward. Now, other than that, Honorable Speaker, I can see that there's a provision that has been woven in there that requires that the national, what is it called? The Kenya Roads Board can only send funds to counties for roads once the counties open a special purpose account with the CBK. We will have issues here as the Senate because we don't want our counties to be micromanaged. Allow counties to be able to manage functions that have been given to them without the micromanagement from the national government. Now, a few positives, Honorable Speaker. Under clause 47.3b, you will see that they are providing for something that we as a country have struggled with for a very long time, that all parts of the country must have reasonable access to a national trunk road or a county road. This is the equity that we've been looking for, especially under the Equalization Fund, that there are counties that are so far away from national trunk roads that it is impossible to access some of those counties. We want development to be equitable in this country because every one of us pays taxes and we deserve those roads in our areas. Under 47A, they have provided for the functions of the county governments, where it says each county shall maintain, rehabilitate, develop, and develop county roads. The only problem I have is my earlier submission, Honorable Speaker, that they have actually narrowed the definition of the roads that should fall under county governments, and I believe it is an affront on devolution that we should resist. Then the management of road reserves and access to roadside development. Speaker, I have a background in outdoor advertising. My first meaningful job was as a legal affairs manager of a company that does billboards. And Honorable Speaker, I get into a lot of problems with those people who shout, "Kazi ni kazi," because my experience is that kazi si kazi. There is kazi that can actually change your life, transform your entire village. And that is the first job that I'm referring to that was meaningful. Honorable Speaker, we used to have a lot of fights with the Kenya Urban Roads Authority and even Kera and the others, and Kenha, because we were of the view that advertising and control of advertising, under the fourth schedule of the Constitution, again, Honorable Speaker, is a county function. And our argument was that national government institutions should have no role to play in licensing of roadside or road reserve developments, what they call road furniture. But to our dismay, those national government entities were very rabid in terms of saying, no, the road reserves belong to us. So I am happy, although they have reduced the definition, again, of the roads that fall under counties, that it is clear that management of road reserves, access, and to roadside developments under 47A has been made clear that it is a functional responsibility of the county governments. And then under 47AC, management of traffic. Management of traffic on county roads has been specifically isolated as a county function, Honorable Speaker, so that we have we should have the capacity as the Nairobi County government, for instance, to manage traffic on our roads without interference from the national police. Honorable Speaker, under 47B, it is something that also I support on signage on our roads, that every road should have signage showing the classification of the road and which government level is responsible for its maintenance, rehabilitation, and development. This will solve that problem that I referenced, Honorable Speaker, that there are roads like Ndoto Road in Lavington, where there is a tag as to who is responsible for maintenance and rehabilitation of that road. It's in the speakable state. And then my favorite, Honorable Speaker, under 47B, which I'm sure some of my friends in the county assemblies will not like, and the governors, that no person will be allowed to put signage on our roads with their name or image. Because you have seen, and I'm sure members who drive around Nairobi and even in the other counties, you will see that every road, whenever there is maintenance of a road or it's being upgraded, you will see the face of the governor there, and then the face of the MCA there, saying they are the ones responsible for the good state of the road. We have, yes, now this is a specific amendment that is in the roads amendment bill. Speaker, we have had this conversation many, many times. We want Kenyans to understand that we as taxpayers deserve these things. They are not favors. They are not favors, and any person can build a road. I hear people pontificating, saying, oh, I am the one who's building the road from here to there, so you should elect me or re-elect me or give me a second term. We are saying any person with authority or in authority and collecting our taxes has the ability to build roads. A dictator will build roads. A Democrat will build roads. If you go to this, some of these countries that have dictatorships, they have built fantastic roads, Honorable Speaker. So that is not an argument for re-election. Any person can build you a stadium. It is not a favor. Moi built us 2 fantastic stadia that we use up to today. For the All Africa Games, we go to Kasarani. We have Nyayo Stadium there. But if you ask any person in this country whether we want to go back to the life that we used to live under Moi, where people were not free to debate issues the way we debate today, where we did not have freedom of expression, where you could be arrested and jailed without trial, Kenyans will tell you we don't want that. So that Talanta Stadium, which we are insisting on calling Raila Amolo Odinga Stadium on Ngong Road, is not the reason why you tell us you want a second term. We want to deal with the software of this country. Any person can build a road. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm very happy with this particular provision on removal of images of leaders claiming that this is my work. In fact, I have made the point in this House that my favorite road sign is those ones that Kenha used to put. They were green. I don't see them anymore. That said, your money, the road maintenance levy funds have been used to improve the situation of this road or the state of this road. Those are the only signages we want to see. We want to see a sign on Raila Amolo Odinga Stadium on Ngong Road that it is your money, not William Ruto, that has built this stadium. It is our money. And nobody should try and tell us any other stories there. So, Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I forgot the final bit there, is that the law has provided for a fine for anybody who violates that provision on images. So, if you put your face on that stadium and you say you are the one who has built it, we jail you for 2 years. Eh? Speaker, I'm being heckled, and I don't know if it's a point of order. We are saying the provision in the bill is that if you violate this particular law that says you cannot put your face on the road to say that this is the person who has built this road, we will jail you for 2 years or a fine of 1 million. The face of Raila Odinga, of course, is allowed on a stadium that is named after him. He's not saying that he's the one who built it. So, Speaker, with those many remarks, I would support the bill, but when we come to the Committee of the Whole, we will be proposing that we remain true to the spirit of the Constitution by deleting these provisions that reference roads that our Constitution does not recognize, these security roads, last mile city roads. There is nothing like that. We want a bill that reflects the true constitutional position, that there are only 2 classes of roads: national trunk roads and county roads. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna. I would have expected in the course of your contribution that in your other life, when you were dealing with advertisement on roads and challenges that you experienced, that you had quite a number of inroads with yours truly in representing your client in the courts. And you are happy with the classification now. That would take away definitely that part of the challenge. But indeed, as you've said, it is a timely bill or rather amendment that comes to the bill. So thank you. Before I allow the next senator to contribute, I have communication further to make. This is with regards to visiting delegation of teachers and students from Kambui Girls School in Kiambu County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 8 teachers and 182 students from Kambui in Kiambu County who were seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. And now that we don't have the Senator for Kiambu in the House, I will ask Senator Cherargei, as you contribute to this bill. Welcome.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this
Proceed,
opportunity.
Senator Cherargei. And it's good, you should remind Senator Sifuna that in Nandi County, you've got a city as well. So you are not entirely a rural senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for putting matters on record. Senator Sifuna, in as much as he refers us to rural senators, Mr. Speaker, he should know that we have Eldoret City County or city next to my neighboring county of Nandi, Mr. Speaker. So all of us belong to the rural, because I've seen even him, he wants to go and launch his political career in Bungoma. Mr. Speaker, I want to extend a warm welcome from the lovely students from Kiambu. On behalf of your Senator Karungo Adangwa, feel most welcome. We hope you learn as much as possible. The distinguished Senator of Nandi County, Cherargei Kiprotich, I'm a ranking member of this House, and feel most welcome on behalf of the Speaker and this House. I know your Senator is busy with other duties, but we hope somewhere in Olkalao, he's an agent of Olkalao polling by-election, but we hope I will talk to him to M-Pesa me so that I can be able to sort you out. But since his friend Senator Sifuna will be there, I'll just send Senator Sifuna to meet you outside and ensure you have something as you go back home. And he might whisper 1 or 2 things because he was in Thika the other day. Mr. Speaker, as I contribute to this bill, Mr. Speaker, from where I come from, the issue of roads, and I'm happy our students who are here also need roads to go to school. It is very important that you know that this House provides for legislation, oversight, representation, budget-making process, Mr. Speaker. So we are discussing the bill on Kenya Roads Bill 2025. I know in Kiambu, where you come from, you also have a bit of challenges with roads, and the government is doing a lot. I know Kiambu County, being a metropolis of Nairobi City County, Mr. Speaker, these young students were aware that they need roads for easy service, and I know in most of their subjects learn the importance of having roads, Mr. Speaker. And our road, Mr. Speaker, if you read from third to first world, Mr. Speaker, by some of the Asian Tigers, one of the transformation, and which the president is doing at the moment, Mr. Speaker, is transforming this country on the road to Singapore, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start for us, you know, the people of Kiambu and the students are here from Kiambu, at least they were lucky they got Thika Superhighway, and they now have Mau Mau roads, which makes them easy, and we are going to do an expressway from Thika to ease the condition that we see in Thika City or Thika Town into the city. Mr. Speaker, we are very grateful to the President, Mr. Speaker, and the children, our lovely sons and daughters up there, should be aware, some of us who come from the so-called rural counties, when we are going to Christmas, sometimes we have to sleep on the roads. Because Nairobi, Nakuru, Bungoma, Nairobi, Kericho, Kisumu, Busia, the road they could be a gridlock. We could not go home to celebrate Christmas with our families, to take gifts, Mr. Speaker, to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, Mr. Speaker, for some of us. But we want to thank the President, because as we talk today, there was somebody, Mr. Speaker, said there was no wheelbarrow, even in Uplands. But, Mr. Speaker, if today you drive from Rironi, Mau Summit, the machines, the works that are ongoing, Mr. Speaker, to expand to 6-lane can only be imagined to the road to Singapore, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, this is a good bill that we need to know that the national highway trunks, and I agree with my brother from Nairobi, that the major road highways that are cutting across the country, like the upcoming Mau Summit, Rironi, then from our summit all the way to Malaba, Bungoma, and also all the way, Mr. Speaker. And these are infrastructural development. Mr. Speaker, you are even aware that the second phase of SGR has been launched, and it will pass Bomet, it will pass Kericho, it will pass all the way next to the border of Nandi and Kisumu, Mr. Speaker. These are some of the things that will allow the motorability of areas that will come, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank one of your, is it your voters or your distinguished, the man called Davis Chirchir, who works in silence, Mr. Speaker. Since Davis Chirchir has come to the roads ministry, most of the stalled roads that were there have now reopened, Mr. Speaker. And we thank him for working in silence, Mr. Speaker. Even in my own county, now I have almost 2 roads complete. The one from Celia, Kaiboy, then the almost complete is from Kaiboy, Chepterwai, Mr. Speaker, all the way to Kapkatembo, Mr. Speaker. There is one from Timborua, and I saw the distinguished senator from Wazingishu, Senator Margaret Kamar, the one that is going all the way to Potopoto. It will go all the way to Kopere, Mr. Speaker. It will all go all the way to Mamboleo in Kisumu. That road is almost complete, Mr. Speaker. Courtesy of, Mr. Speaker, although in a number of Nandi County, there is the one of Kitechka, Mr. Speaker, that is being done in Nandils, and that will end up in Ainam Ngetuny, and that one that will come from Kericho, Digir, all the way through to Kericho. It comes to Kebeneti. It will come all the way to Nandi and onwards to West Pokot, Mr. Speaker. And the contractors are on site, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even the one you was even in Bomet town, Mr. Speaker, roads have been upgraded. Even the one that goes to the airstrip. And I want to thank you, yourself and Senator Commissioner Joyce Korir and other leaders of Bomet for engaging with the president so that with this, even the one, Chebale Siongro Jebunya Road was impossible, Mr. Speaker. But the ongoing works of refilling the pothole, setting up the ground for the contractor to come and finish this road of Chebale Siongro Jebunya Road, which had become an eyesore, Mr. Speaker, and I know you come from that sub-county, Mr. Speaker. So we want to say these roads, and even if you go to Nyamira, there are roads ongoing. Even Nairobi, I would have expected the Senator of Nairobi to begin by thanking the President, Mr. Speaker. Because now we have eased the traffic. Can I finish the traffic? The one at Nakuma Junction, Mr. Speaker. The President commissioned the other day, Mr. Speaker, that has eased the traffic between Naivasha Road and Gong Road, Mr. Speaker. If the President has put 80 billion, we are now seeing opening of the drainages.
Senator Cherargei, would you like to be informed by Senator Mogeni?
No. I am sufficiently well informed, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Your offer, Senator Mogeni, is declined.
Mr.
Proceed.
Speaker, if you drive around Nairobi, Eastlands, Karen, and all the parts, even in the CBD, Mr. Speaker, you have to appreciate that courtesy the partnership between the national government and the county government, Mr. Speaker, they have open drainage. And if El Nino comes towards the end, this city will be open, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, we want to ask the governor of Nairobi. In fact, the president assisted him by opening drainages and roads. We have seen even here in Serena, Mr. Speaker, the roads is ongoing. Serena, even Valley Road here, Mr. Speaker, near. There are many roads ongoing in the city. But the city, the rubbish and the takataka, in fact, I'm shocked. The governor of Nairobi, the president has done majority of the work. But the governor of Nairobi, Sakaja, cannot even collect litter. When you go to Waiyaki Way, there is a lot of cabbage in this county, Mr. Speaker. Yet the president has done majority of the work. So I want to appeal, Mr. Speaker, because as senators, we oversight all the counties. We must ensure that we give value for this that we are having, Mr. Speaker. Even on the issue of security roads, I had somebody asking, you know, for bandit-prone areas like Elgeyo Marakwet County, like Marsabit, Mr. Speaker, like what we are seeing in Meru and Isiolo, we must designate. And even as sometimes I see between Nyamira and also Transmara, Mr. Speaker, that area around Migori, we normally have challenges of insecurity. And it is very important that we have security roads. You saw what happened in Angata Baragoi the other day, Mr. Speaker. We want to appeal for calm, and the issue of land historical injustices in Angata Baragoi must be addressed, Mr. Speaker. So this issue of security roads, calm, it is very important so that we give priority. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the agencies that they should not misuse security roads. Mr. Speaker, I remember in the last session, there was an argument where the Kura argued that the roads they were doing in Kibera were security roads. So you are wondering what is insecure in Kibera. We want to have a tangible report before a road is named security road. we must be told based on the which reason, Mr. Speaker, so that we can agree. But, Mr. Speaker, there's so much, even in Kisii, Nyamira, where our commissioner comes from, Mr. Speaker, there is a road from all the way from Wajir, Mr. Speaker, Mogadashe, Kulamawe, all the way to Isiolo. They have never, Mr. Speaker, in fact, the people of northern Kenya have never gotten an opportunity to see a tarmac road, Mr. Speaker. For the first time since independence 60 years, President William Ruto is fixing it, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we are asking ourselves, what was Uhuru Kenyatta doing with our money, or other presidents, Mr. Speaker? Because 4 years, Mr. Speaker, 4 years, Mr. Speaker, 4 years down the line, what President William Ruto is doing is more what Kibaki did combined for 10 years, Mr. Speaker. The people, in fact, the reason, Mr. Speaker,
Order, let Senator Cherargei be heard in silence. Senator Joyce, Senator, you have a point of order? Very well. What's your point of order, Senator Mogeni? Senator Onyonga, I heard you. I heard you.
Yeah, Speaker, sir. You know, Senator of Nandi, my good friend.
4 years down the line, what President William Ruto is doing is more what Kibaki
knows what our standing orders say on matters of facts. He has just made a statement saying that the network of roads that have been constructed by the government, I want to correct you, it is the government that is doing roads, not an individual. The roads that have been constructed under the regime of President Ruto exceed the number of roads that were constructed by former President Kibaki and former President Kenyatta combined. Can you table statistics? No. That's why I'm adding. Let's go slowly. Okay. Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Record.
Yes.
Can you give us the statistics that will demonstrate that what is stating on the floor of this House is factual? I can give you facts from Nyamira. The road that was constructed from Metamayua, Mosobeti, Kebirigo, was done during the regime of President Kibaki. The one that was done from Ikonge through Konete Junction.
Senator Mogeni, you have
no, I'm just trying to.
Point of order.
I'm trying to.
I want to direct Senator Cherargei to give us the facts.
So the point,
Senator Joyce.
The point I'm making.
Can you freeze my time, Kavata?
The point I'm making, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that when we are debating,
yes,
because this is a House of Record,
yes,
let us have our facts correct, so that we don't make statements on the floor of this House that are misleading, that are not factual, that cannot be substantiated. And I was just mentioning those roads to tell you that even if you sample County of Nyamira and County of Kisii, you will find that what Senator Cherargei is stating on the floor of this House is misleading, Mr. Speaker.
You've made your point, Senator Samson Cherargei. As you make your contribution on this particular bill,
yes,
establish the factual position of the statements you are making, including the ones with which Senator Okongo Mogeni has raised as regards the extent
County of
of
Nyamira and
the
County
road
of
network
Kisii,
that
you will find
previous
that
regimes
what Senator
have done
Cherargei is
in
stating
comparison with
on the floor of
the
this House
current regime
is misleading,
that you
Mr.
are
Speaker.
stating. You've made your point, Senator Samson Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker,
As you make your contribution on this particular bill,
yes, who happens to come from
establish the factual position of the statements you are making, including
and
the ones with which Senator Okongo Mogeni has raised as regards the extent
County of Nyamira and
of the
County of
road
Kisii.
network.
How can you substantiate the obvious? And the Speaker and then Jean-Marie Seroney indicated you don't need to substantiate the obvious. It is even in the public domain, but if Senator Okongo Mogeni wants, I can I can table the facts tomorrow, Mr. Speaker, so that he can be updated. I know he has been traveling a lot and maybe he has lost track of what is happening, or he has been in, or he has been in these rallies, like my brother, Senator Onyonga, you saw how he escaped in Olkalau. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm trying to make, Mr. Speaker, that is why we are saying President William Ruto has done so much in 3-4 years more than the combined other presidents that have ruled this country. And that is why we're asking the question, what were our presidents doing with our money? At least people want even to compare what President Kibaki did for 10 years vis-a-vis what William Ruto has done for 3 years, Mr. Speaker. So we must be proud that one of the ways to Singapore, we must fix infrastructure, Mr. Speaker. Even there are challenges. I know a road like this one, Ngong Suswa. The contractor there must be called to order. That contractor must be blacklisted because he did a short work, Mr. Speaker. Even another road that starts from Dries Junction, Ainapkoi, all the way to Naiberi, Mr. Speaker, short work was done. And I think across other counties, we must blacklist contractors who want to destroy the reputation of government, Mr. Speaker. And I want to appeal to senators. Some of the senators, Mr. Speaker, who are busy with other rallies during weekend, and you should get time to visit some of these projects. For example, in my county, Mr. Speaker, I was in Sironoi Bridge on Chemuswa Danger. I could also assess, Mr. Speaker. You must visit roads. I want to keep colleagues. Part of the oversight is to look at some of these roads that the government is doing, Mr. Speaker. Even I want to appeal to people like Senator Onyonga, Senator Okongo Mgeni. When you are driving to Kisii, Nyamira, just stop at Mau Summit, Rironi, their uplands. Look at Gilgil. Look at those projects, Mr. Speaker, so that you see, Mr. Speaker. You need to see. We want you to see what the president is doing, Mr. Speaker. Even in Bugoma, there is Brigadier Road. Many roads we are doing, Mr. Speaker. There are a number of roads that the president is doing across the country. And I want to demystify. I know my brother said it is not an individual that is doing the roads. Mr. Speaker, President William Ruto is the president, and president is Ruto. So the government is Ruto. So that is why we call President Ruto administration. You know, Mr. Speaker, and therefore, I want to appeal, Mr. Speaker, number 4, and the final one, Mr. Speaker, is on the issue of roads in our counties. I want to appeal to governors. And Mr. Speaker, if today I was to go to Nyamira, most of the feeder roads done by the county government in Nyamira are in poor condition and pathetic. I want to appeal to Senator Okongo Mgeni. As he does the oversight of the national government roads, he should create time and visit some of those feeder roads in Nyamira and call Governor Nyaribo to order to ensure those roads are fixed. Even Senator Mungatana, Mr. Speaker, even Senator Tobiko, Senator Onyonga, Mr. Speaker, Senator you and Senator Joyce must go on the ground and see some of those feeder roads. Even in Nandi County, Mr. Speaker, the roads, the feeder roads are so pathetic, Mr. Speaker, that sometimes you wonder, what is the counties, Mr. Speaker? Because if the president is doing tarmac, why don't the governors fix those small roads? Mr. Speaker, I was in a place called Mogoyuet, in Lelmokwa, Mogoyuet, all the way to Chepkwaya. The road belonged to the county. They have never fixed. The road to my home in Mosoriat, the feeder road that the county has not fixed. You go to Aldai, you go to anywhere in Nandi, Aldai, whether Nandi Hills, whether Tindred, the people of Nandi understand this. Even the one I was using the other day in Kaptien, Mr. Speaker, around Duposat area in Nandi Hills sub-county, those roads must be fixed by the county government. And one, for example, Mr. Speaker, in my county, the governor has fixed almost 700 million for roads. But you don't see the value of that 700 million for roads, Mr. Speaker. You see counties allocating hiring of machines, yet they have bought machines, Mr. Speaker. You see roads are being graded without maraming and culverting, Mr. Speaker. Where I come from and the region you come from, Mr. Speaker, and I think all of us where these regions we come from, you must at least maram the road, grade the road, and put the culverts, Mr. Speaker. But our counties are eating maram and culverts, even in Kisii, Mr. Speaker. We must be told, when you do grading, can you do a grade and then put a maram, then put culvert, Mr. Speaker? Even Kisii, where my brother comes from, they have cess from tea. Even me, I have cess. In Bomet, you have cess. But we don't see the cess money that farmers sacrifice for the betterments of those roads, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal, as my brothers are passionate about oversighting President William Ruto. You must do 1,000% oversight against your governors. And I sit in Public Accounts Committee. I say this with authority. And Senator Onyonga used to serve with us. Now Senator Commissioner Nyamira Okongo Mgeni Senior Counsel is serving with us. We must, the biggest danger, what governors are doing ruining this country. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I was reading a book by Abdighani Hassan, The Betrayal in the North, Mr. Speaker, talking about sessional paper number 10, talking about the Wagala massacre, Mr. Speaker. He was even talking about roads in northern Kenya, especially in Wajir, Mr. Speaker. And if you read that book by Abdighani Hassan, Mr. Speaker, Betrayal in the North, he says, we thought the enmity was in session number 10. We thought the Wagala massacre was an enmity. But they are saying the current crop of governors in northern Kenya are now the modern day colonizers, that they are killing their roads, their education, their health, Mr. Speaker. And the funny thing, the author notes, is that most of them worship with them in the mosque, Mr. Speaker. And yet they come and colonize them and ensure the money allocated, which is more than 4 trillion that counties have gotten for the last 15 years, does not accounted in the north, Mr. Speaker. Even in the north, when it rains, especially in northern Kenya, most of these roads are swept by rains, which is the floods, Mr. Speaker, because the issue is that the works are not done properly, Mr. Speaker. So I want to advise, Mr. Speaker, and I know you are a man who is well read, I will ensure I give you a copy called Betrayal in the North by Abdighani Hassan, Mr. Speaker, so that you understand what this nation is going through. Colleagues and brothers and sisters in the Senate, the senators' colleagues, we must be aware, we must be cognizant, Mr. Speaker, and show that this country we can move forward, Mr. Speaker, so that we don't want to be like South Africans. We have had xenophobic attacks. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, during the World Cup, all African countries wanted South Africa to be defeated in World Cup, because we want to bring Pan-Africanism. The only way to grow Pan-Africanism, and as I celebrate Raila Odinga, was to create an infrastructural network across.
Cherargei, your time is up. Senator Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have extremely wonderful accolades for my brother Cherargei. Only that his comments in this House have what I call selective responsibility. Mr. Cherargei comfortably criticizes President Uhuru Kenyatta as not having done much, and yet, Mr. Speaker, President Uhuru Kenyatta President William Ruto was President Uhuru Kenyatta Vice President for 10 years. You are the same people who are enjoying the roads being given to your areas where the opposition must never get services because we are behaving badly. But, Mr. Speaker, let me get back to the matter on this roads bill. The truth is, if Kenyan leadership would be honest, this is an issue that should never raise controversy. The reason for that is that all of us wish and hope that all our regions should receive development equitably and equally. Historical injustices which have happened have made some of us take positions which are very uncomfortable, Mr. Speaker, on some of these matters. Why? Because we are always selective. We are always selective. So long as our area has got leadership, particularly the presidency, and the presidency does all the roads he wants to do in our area, it is actually okay for those other areas in Kenya not to get their roads. And Mr. Speaker, this is the greatest controversy about us as a people, that when we are fighting to share the national resources and the national cake, what we do, Mr. Speaker, we internalize that. We actually go tribal, we go communal, we even go up to the ward level. But when you are talking about national equity, nobody wants to talk about that. And yet, it's because of these inequitable levels of development and growth that have taken place in our country for the last 60 years. And that is why you have, whether it is the county, the sub-county, whether it is our own nation state. That is why our brothers in the north have never felt that they were Kenyan. And yet we act as if this is a matter that cannot be discussed. And yet, in reality, when you are trying to solve the problem of this inequity so that you can then give our brothers in the north resources for them to catch up with the rest of Kenya, what do you find? That our leadership from those areas is as insensitive as the national leadership is. That Kenyans have a common trait, that for us, when the winner takes it, the winner should always take it all. Mr. Speaker, the reality is all these roads have been the problem. And the truth in this house, we don't talk about it, Mr. Speaker. Why are we always fighting about the roads? That is where there are low-lying fruits. That's where the corruption is beautiful. That is where we share the corruption equitably. That is where those in power and those who are managing our resources sit down and agree which company will be given the roads. Until the other day, Mr. Speaker, you saw where a kilometer of road in Kenya is costing 1 billion shillings to do. And that is normal. And when we are talking about, like the other day I was driving on this road being done, and I congratulate my brother Cherargei. Please, when you mention to the president, tell him we appreciate the little he's done, we appreciate. But when you talk about that he has done more roads than anybody else, you are lying in this house. That's why I want you to come and substantiate. That is why I would want you, Mr. Speaker, to allow Mr. Cherargei to come and give me how many roads have been done. Mr. Speaker, I apologize by not saying the truth. You didn't lie. You didn't say the truth. Mislead the house. Thank you, my brother. I would like to say, Mr. Speaker, that I would like Honorable Cherargei to come here tomorrow and look. Don't talk about the 47 counties. I want him to do only 4 counties. Kisii, he can do Kericho, Nandi, he does Makueni, and he does, which one can we pick? Any. And you will realize that the trend is literally the same. That in Kisii County, when Chris Obure was the Minister for Finance, it is true, he did more tarmac roads in Bobasi than any other Kisii area. It is true that when the Director of Roads in Kenya was from Kisii, and he came from Bonchari got more tarmac roads than anywhere else in Kisii. And yet in Kitutu Chache, where I come from, when those 2 men and gentlemen were working in government, I didn't receive a single kilometer, and I was an MP. And I fought every day. So I'm trying to persuade my brother, Mr. Speaker Cherargei, that sometimes you need to look at the other side what we say. You need to understand why we keep on making the noise. It's not that we don't like the president. No, we respect him. We respect the office. But what we are saying, if you are giving one constituency in Kisii 200 kilometers of tarmac road, and there are 9 constituencies, which equity have you given? And yet you are using Kisii as the GPS point. That inequity, that unfairness, that aspect of our underdevelopment is what we must deal with. This bill that is being discussed.
Senator Cherargei and Senator Joyce Korir, you know how to catch the speakers. I don't make noise. If you want to intervene, do what is appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me. I swear I think I'm making a lot of sense. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable, my colleague Cherargei, I would like to persuade you lastly. We want this country to develop equitably, fairly, and responsibly. We want this country, yes, when you are going to bring the sovereign fund, which is going to do for infrastructure, we don't want you to tell us that the controller budget cannot remit payments to whoever that has won the contract. We are not saying we don't want development. We are saying do it responsibly, do it within the law so that you eliminate any accusation of corruption. Because the problem our country is having is not that we are not spending money for development. No, we are doing it but at 10 times the price. And that is the cost of production in terms of corruption. So we are saying, please tell the president. Now, you see he has done this wonderful thing you've said. Can he now bring down the cost of constructing a road? And he does a road for 1 billion shillings at 20 million. We see how much it costs. So I would like to say, Mr. Speaker, that this bill is a good bill, and this bill will go a long way to solve the issues which affect the national government and the county governments. And we've been asking and begging, and I hope that this House will deliberate and come to conclusions which are reasonable and fair so that Kenyans can have fair and equitable development and growth so that all of us can be happy so that we make Cherargei happy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker,
Senator
for
Onyonka,
giving me so many.
Your seat, Senator Onyonka, just to remind you that whenever you're making contributions or address the chair, don't address the individual senators. And similarly, Senator Cherargei, I believe your gadget is working. If you want to intervene, that gadget allows you how to intervene. Now you've done it. So next time, when you want to intervene, do what you've just done. Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to make a few comments about this bill. Mr. Speaker, there are some very good aspects of this bill, but there are some aspects of this bill that we need to reject as a Senate so that we can go to mediation. So that some things can be explained better. Mr. Speaker, previous speakers have pointed to the fact that the Constitution only recognizes national roads and county roads. But aside from that, Mr. Speaker, and I hope we will reject some of these clauses or move amendments so that it can go to mediation, I am worried specifically about Clause 6. Clause 6, subclause Roman 8 says 5% of the allocated funds is allocated to county governments under Article 202, Subarticle 2 of the Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, they are trying to say that all the monies that have been allocated, the county governments will only get 5% of the allocated funds for county roads. Mr. Speaker, this is taking us backwards, not forwards. If you look, Mr. Speaker, there are so many categories of roads. You will find in some places 22% like Subarticle A being increased to 25%. The Kenya Roads Board is going to increase to 25%. Other categories of roads are going to be increased even up to 38%. But then our governors are going to be given only 5% of the allocated funds. The county governments are only going to get 5%. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether colleagues have seen this, but even when we are arguing here for equitable share, we are now heading to more than 35%. That's the target. We want to go beyond 35%. The equitable share has grown over time. But, Mr. Speaker, these roads now, they are saying county roads should be given only 5%. That is taking us backwards. And I hope senators will see this. I hope senators will reject this particular clause. They should adjust all the other categories of roads so that the county roads under Section 6 must be allocated more funds. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution in Article 203 says that for every financial year, the equitable share of the revenue raised nationally that is allocated to county governments shall not be less than 15% of all the revenues collected in the government. So 15% is the minimum amount. And we have left 15% a long time ago, since when we started devolution. We are now heading towards 30%, 40%. So, for somebody to put in a written law, which is subservient to the Constitution, that county governments are going to get 5%. Mr. Speaker, this is a joke to the Senate. And I would urge all colleagues to reject this particular clause that is trying to make our county governments lesser government than the national government, that is trying to create an unconstitutional clause. And Mr. Speaker, even if this law passes here, good civic-minded Kenyans should go to court to raise the percentage to a minimum of 15%. At least 15%. Our governors should get the amount allocated for roads. They should get a minimum of 15%, because the equitable share, according to the Constitution, Article 203, our county governments are required to get a minimum of 15%. So, Mr. Speaker, I take very strong issue with that particular section. Mr. Speaker, if you go again on the same page, the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill number 3, Bill 2025, it says on Sabbatical 4, that the board shall not approve any disbursement of funds to a county government unless the county government has made the requirements set out in subsection 5, A and B. What are these subsection 5, Z and B? They have set out that we should set up a special purpose account at the Central Bank of Kenya. They should have a designated department or division responsible for maintenance and rehabilitation and development of county roads. So, Mr. Speaker, you know what this law is trying to do? This law is trying to make the board, the Kenya Roads Board, superior to a county government, so that the county government of Tana River now must comply with what the Kenya Roads Board is saying. Mr. Speaker, we should understand that there are two levels of government. The Kenya Roads Board cannot be superior to the county government of Tana River, the county government of Nairobi, or any other county government. The person who wrote this law must be a person who does not appreciate what devolution is all about. You cannot subordinate a county government, a whole county government, to a board. How can the Kenya Roads Board be the one to determine whether funds are going to be allocated to a county government? How does that happen, Mr. Speaker? How? When we are here as senators, our business, Mr. Speaker, is to protect the counties. This kind of law is nonsensical, and we must not pass it. And I pray that senators will look at it again. This is nonsensical. How can a board be dictating what a county government should do? That doesn't make sense, Mr. Speaker. If that be the case, then even the monies that we allocate here as the equitable share from the Constitution, then we should have a board to determine what should go to the counties and not what the Senate passes. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this should just be sent away. This kind of thinking is informed by people who are still in the central government, in the national government, and their minds has never bought devolution. This kind of thinking is supported by people sitting in the treasury who want to control the monies that ought to go to county governments. And Mr. Speaker, they don't actually support devolution. How do you draft a law like that? And listen to this, Mr. Speaker. Sabbatical 3 there says, the Cabinet Secretary shall utilize funds allocated to subparagraph 7, Roman 7, to provide for equity in roads maintenance, road-related emergency, primary oversight, and administration expenses. Mr. Speaker, they are trying to make the cabinet secretary the prefect of roads, including to be a prefect of roads for even county roads, Mr. Speaker. So it is the cabinet secretary's, decision on how to utilize funds, how he decides. He's the one who determines. It's the equity of these roads maintenance funds. He's the one who determines what should happen. The cabinet secretary. I don't know if our senators are seeing this, that we are creating in the office of the cabinet secretary powers for him to decide the equity. Why? Already we know that we are entitled to 15% minimal using the principle of transfer of equitable share. And right now we are doing over 30%. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at that, it does not make any sense. This person who drafted this law must be sitting in the office of the cabinet secretary. And this person who has made this proposition must be very happy that it has passed in the National Assembly. It will not pass in this place, Mr. Speaker. And I think senators need to be sensitized to the fact that we are creating a prefect here. Why can't the county governments themselves supervise what is supposed to be maintenance? Why can't they create the equity themselves, Mr. Speaker? Why can't the figures be determined, predetermined? So that if this year, Mr. Speaker, we are getting 30%, for example, on equitable share, it should automatically be here that we will get 30% of the funds allocated for roads to come down to the counties, Mr. Speaker, to come down to the governors. We don't need a prefect. We don't need the cabinet secretary to be a prefect over the funds that are going to the counties. Mr. Speaker, this kind of drafting will expose the national government and the taxpayers of this country to a lot of litigation, because this is an unconstitutional kind of law. This law is wrong the way it is drafted. And Mr. Speaker, they even say at Sub-Article 5D that county governments should submit 6 months to the board an annual road plan. An annual road plan to be submitted to another. So we pass as a county government, we pass our budgets, we allocate money, and then we say we need this kind of money, and then the CEC for the county government should then go outside from the county executive, go to Nairobi and submit to a different body called the Kenya Roads Board. What are they doing with our share? That the county executive for roads should go and submit an annual program to the Roads Board. Mr. Speaker, this is wrong. There's something, fundamentally wrong with the drafting of this law. This law is trying to tell us the Kenya Roads Board is superior to the county governments. This is trying to tell us the Kenya Roads Board is the one that should receive the annual program for making roads. Why? Why, Mr. Speaker? Is it that the Kenya Roads Board is another level of government? And we're supposed to be two levels of government? I reject, Mr. Speaker, this kind of thinking. We need county governments to get their fair amount of percentage, which is minimum 15%. The funds allocated to roads should automatically come. We don't want to be told, you need to submit plans to the Kenya Road Boards, or you need to do what to the Kenya Roads Board, or it is the minister, the cabinet secretary who should use his discretion to ensure there is equity. Mr. Speaker, I want to, in fact, make a point before I forget it. Leaving anything to the discretion of minister, the cabinet secretary, and I'm speaking specifically, leaving anything to the discretion of Davis Chirchir, the current cabinet secretary for roads, is a mistake. Mr. Speaker, the county of Tana River, the last financial year, there was no tarmac road that was built. The previous financial year, there was no tarmac road that was built. The other year, there was no tarmac road that was built. Leaders from Tana River County, we have met this particular Davis Chirchir. Leaders from Tana River County, we have talked to him. I have talked to him, myself, Mr. Speaker, as a senator. I have talked to the PS in this particular department. We have made again and again the point, I have written, Mr. Speaker, that the President of the Republic of Kenya made pledges, Mr. Speaker, pledges during the campaign that once I'm elected, I will do the Boji Road. I will do the Tarasa Tarmac. I will do the Kipini Road. And what are we talking about? 13 kilometers, a few kilometers here and there. No single tarmac, even 1 kilometer, Mr. Speaker. And now you're saying that we should leave discretion. Davis Chirchir, the discretion he will give you is just a smile and nothing. And I hope he's listening to me, that the people of Tana River are annoyed with you. And you are making the president to be a liar to the people of Tana River because he made these promises. And you are the cabinet secretary. And the PS, you are there. You listen to us. The people are going also to answer to this issue. Because you are, and then you are writing a law here telling us we should leave some of these things to the discretion of the cabinet secretary. How, Mr. Speaker? Cabinet secretary cannot be trusted. The discretion cannot be left to an individual, Mr. Speaker. We do not want promises. County government, it's better even, Mr. Speaker, the amount is divided at 15%. It's better the equitable share is divided. Let that money come to the county. We don't want to hear stories and promises of people like Chirchir. We don't want stories. Let this money be divided automatically. Let the money go to the county government so that the county government can decide this 15% that we have received, we are going to do 1 kilometer tarmac this year, 1 kilometer tarmac next year, 1 kilometer. If this money had gone to county governments, Mr. Speaker, and I'm not speaking for only Tana River, I know many other county governments, they would have done at least 1 kilometer of road. Leaving this thing to the discretion of a cabinet secretary is wrong law, and we must oppose it as Senate, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying this Kenya Roads Amendment Bill has something good, but it has missed the fundamentals. The fundamentals are that there are two levels of government, and these two levels of government, we have equitable share. And it cannot be that we are going to be subservient to the Kenya Roads Board, or we are going to be kneeling down to a cabinet secretary to decide how funds should be allocated according to his understanding of equity. The shares must be clear. We are tired of talking to people here in Nairobi. And an example has been given here. When people have offices, they develop their areas. They do roads in their areas. Mr. Speaker, it's on record here what Senator Onyonka was talking about. But they don't do for other areas. So we don't want people to depend on what the minister has promised or what they are saying. It should be automatic. Mr. Speaker, if it wasn't for devolution, there would be nothing in some of our counties. And it is true. And that's why we don't want any discretion. We don't want the Kenya Roads Board to be in charge. Because again, when they appoint those directors, some of our counties don't get a chance to sit in those boards. They will appoint their own fellows, their own people. They marginalize us every day, Mr. Speaker. And I want to say, and I want to take the floor of this House to say, that Sahi, you believe that you are in power, you will do what you want, you will oppress the minorities in this country, you will refuse to develop our roads, but I'm telling you, it's just for a while, Mr. Speaker. And these laws that you are trying to develop, we will reject them in this Senate. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to support the clauses that are good and avoid and oppose the clauses that are negative to county governments. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mogeni.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also giving me a chance to make my contributions to the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill 25. And for the record, Mr. Speaker, I want to join my thoughts or link my thoughts with the thoughts of Senator Mungatana, that as a Senator of the Republic of Kenya, we should be very, very cautious, Mr. Speaker, while voting or rejecting this bill. Mr. Speaker, the devil is in the detail. The devil is in the detail. Mr. Speaker, if you read the clauses that are being amended, the intention of this bill is actually to weaken devolution. The intention of this bill is to take more powers on road construction and rehabilitation away from governors to be under the control of members of parliament. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you want to understand what I'm saying, you need to read the provisions of the law that are being amended. I would like to begin, Mr. Speaker, sir, with the proposed amendment of Section 6(2) of the Kenya Roads Board Act, which is trying to amend paragraph D. Mr. Speaker, the increase on the amount that are supposed to go to roads that are being defined as roads linking constituencies, that's money that is going to be under the control of a member of parliament. And Mr. Speaker, for some of us who are here in the last parliament, we rejected a law that was brought to this house that was couched almost in similar language. And we did make a proposal, Mr. Speaker, that if members of National Assembly should continue having a say in the selection of road projects in constituencies, then we as senators should also have a say so that there is parity. Because, Mr. Speaker, the current situation, I don't know that you are aware, Senator Mungatana, the prevailing situation is that members of parliament nominate their staff from their constituencies to sit in the roads boards at the constituency level, so that they have a say in making a determination on the roads that will be assigned budget for certain projects, while the senator and the women rep and the governor have no say. So the amendment, if you read the amendment A, that is purporting to delete 20% and increase that percentage to 22, relates to roads that connect constituencies. And that's where the mischief is. I'd want to read. The first one says 22% which shall be deposited into a special bank account to be called Constituency Roads Fund Account, to be maintained in every constituency. You get it? So this is money, Mr. Speaker, that goes and is by design under the control of a member of parliament in a constituency. Okay? Then if you go to B, it says 10% of the allocated fund is allocated for the maintenance or development of link roads between constituencies. Okay? Now, Mr. Speaker, how can you be talking about roads linking constituencies and you leave out counties? How can you say that you are allocating 5% as it's proposed here? Yes, 5% to county governments, as if roads in constituencies are separate from roads in counties. I mean, Mr. Speaker, if we need to connect roads in the constituencies in Bomet County, there is no distinction between a road that should be under the ambit of the governor and one that should be under the member of parliament, unless we want duplication, Mr. Speaker. So I agree with you, Senator Mungatana, that this law as drafted is for rejection. If it's not for rejection, then we need to undertake serious amendments to this law, so that if we are creating a special fund where the members of National Assembly have a say, then we need another bigger fund, because which is the bigger entity? It is the county. So, Mr. Speaker, the entity that should get more money for road maintenance should be the county, not the constituency, because a constituency is a smaller unit. And remember, Mr. Speaker, we are here to protect devolution. We are here to protect the interests of our 47 counties. That is our main role as senators, Mr. Speaker. If we enact this law, Mr. Speaker, we will be weakening devolution. And I agree with Senator Mungatana. We cannot put it in our minds that the only road that a governor can do is a Maram road. No. Mr. Speaker, if a national government can come to my county in Nyamira and give a contract to rehabilitate roads within Nyamira town municipality, 2.2 kilometers, award a contract, the money that I sent to Nyamira is more than enough to do that work. It's more than enough, Mr. Speaker. So we should, if we really want to develop this country, Mr. Speaker, let us stop these fights between counties, constituencies, and national government. Because the taxes we pay, today I fueled my car. I paid tax. The border borders in Nyamira today who fueled their motorcycles, they paid tax, Mr. Speaker. And I wish my friend Senator Cheragay had stayed in the House. I think we should implement the Commonwealth practice. When, Mr. Speaker, you make a contribution to a law, the Commonwealth practice dictates that you stay behind to hear what your colleagues will also say on a law. But you don't just talk and then you walk out. Yeah? Because I wanted to remind Senator Cheragay, and I think that time Senator Mungatana was a member of parliament, that this law was first developed in 2007 during the tenure of President Kibaki. And President Kibaki wanted fairness and equity in the development of our roads. That's why if you read the Roads Act that was passed by Parliament in 2007, it created 3 independent boards: Kenya National Highways Authority, it created the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and the Kenya Urban Roads Authority. In recognition, Mr. Speaker, that once we collect our taxes, we give that money to those entities to ensure that there is fairness, so that we don't hear the agonizing contributions from Senator Mungatana that the president made promises to make roads in Tana River, which he has not fulfilled to date. That mandate, I wanted to read this law to Senator Cheragay, because he's a lawyer and he should be making statements that are backed by the law. It is a very bad thing to display ignorance of the law and you are a lawyer. Mr. Speaker, Section 4 says the functions of the authority shall be to construct, to upgrade, rehabilitate, and maintain roads, Mr. Speaker. Then H says they shall do the planning, development of roads. They shall prepare the roadwork programs for roads. It's supposed to be an independent entity. So when Senator Cherargei stands here and says the president is going to make this and such a road, no, we have put in place a framework that demands that we should have an objective criteria in terms of how we allocate our resources to have a connection of tarmac roads in the entire country. If you are a forward-looking leader, Mr. Speaker, you will never move your country to the next level by only developing one region. To develop this country, we must have tarmac roads in Nyamira, in Tana River, in Mombasa, in Kajiado. That's the only way you develop a country. But if you are not somebody who is wise, forward-looking, then you will think that the best way is to go and connect all tarmac roads in your region only. How will that develop a country? Because you need to do trade, inter-county trades. The people of Tana River should be able to trade with us in Nyamira. If we don't have bananas in Tana River, a good road network should deliver the bananas in Tana River. And if you have good fish, we should get that fish from Tana River to Nyamira. That's how you move the country forward, Mr. Speaker. But if you say you want to go to one region, for example, you pick if it's Nandi, and you make 300 kilometers of tarmac, and you leave the other regions of Kenya behind, you will not take this country anywhere, Mr. Speaker. And I want to tell my good friend, through you, Mr. Speaker, Senator Cherargei, a country is developed by successive regimes. It's not right to demean a very respected leader like the late President Kibaki. I mean, the late Mzee Kibaki is standing in his grave wondering what statements are being made here by Senator Cherargei. He's the one who, under his regime, we did thick highway, Mr. Speaker. If you go to Senator Australia, a country Australians will tell you that Princess Highway, Hume Highway, was built by successive regimes. Many prime ministers were in office.
Your time is up, Senator Mogeni. I will... just confirm from the gadget so that we don't also rob you of your time. All right, Senator Mogeni, proceed as we work on the time.
Many prime ministers were in office. Okay, yes.
Okay, you have got 7 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Your
Mr. Speaker, I
time is
wanted
up,
to give an
Senator
example.
Mogeni.
Like you go to Australia, Mr. Speaker, the road called Princess Highway, which was named in honor of...
just confirm from the gadget so that we don't also rob you of your time.
Was built by successive prime ministers. You go to...
All right, Senator Mogeni, proceed as we work on the time.
Many prime ministers were in office. Okay. The lady who completed that
you have got 7 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Prime Minister,
your time is up,
give an
Senator
example.
Mogeni.
Like you go to Australia, but she did not mean the road that was done by the other Princess Highway, which was named in honor of
just confirm from the gadget so that we don't also rob you of your
and that's
time.
what we should be doing as a country. By successive, if you have taken over leadership, prime minister, work was done by President Kibaki. You go to...
All right, Senator Mogeni, proceed as we work on the time.
Many prime ministers were in office. Okay.
Yes, you have got 7 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Prime Minister,
your time is up, Senator Mogeni.
like you go to Australia, but she did not mean the road called the Princess Highway, which was named in honor of...
just confirm from the gadget so that we don't also rob you of your
and that's
time.
what we should be doing as a country. By successive, if you have taken over leadership, prime minister, done by President Kibaki, you go to...
All right, Senator Mogeni, proceed as we work on... all right, Senator Mogeni, proceed as we work on the time. You have got 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
You have time, Senator Mogeni. I will
Can you proceed as we walk on? All right. Can you proceed as we walk on? All
then under 47,
amended bill, Mr. Speaker, is a better version because it brings in the issue of counties. But I agree with my colleagues, Mr. Speaker, that this bill cannot pass as it is. And because, Mr. Speaker, I'm in the Roads Committee in this House, and I was in the Roads Committee in the National Assembly, because this is a committee I have always tried to make sure I get in, because the road network and the road infrastructure in our counties matters a lot for our development. Without equity in the roads infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, then Kenyans are still operating not equally, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill classifies roads into two main categories: the national trunk roads and the county roads, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, what is shocking me, the bill we are discussing, I believe, is the one originating from the National Assembly, because we have our own version of the bill, of what the Senate is proposing. And, Mr. Speaker, now I see that we are headed to a mediation situation, because then we must bring the two bills together and see what the National Assembly is proposing and what we are proposing, Mr. Speaker. Because in our bill, the percentages are different. But because this is the bill on the floor, let me discuss this one, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I see that the National Assembly has gone ahead to do more categorization of the national trunk roads, that there are national roads, there are urban roads, there are rural roads, and yes, I think that is their classification. And they even went ahead to also try and classify county roads, which, Mr. Speaker, I would say I see that the National Assembly classification of county roads to the Senate, Mr. Speaker, because that is our duty to do. Mr. Speaker, on the percentages in terms of revenue allocation, Mr. Speaker, I totally do not agree with the percentages that they have given, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me say this is where we must achieve equity. This is where Kenya must be brought to the same level. This is where devolution must be seen to work. This is where it must be seen to work, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, if we don't get it right on the issue of legislation, then we will not even get it right on the issue of revenue sharing. We must get right the legislation so that we go to revenue sharing, and now hope they implement the same level at the executive level. Where both devolution must be level and at the national level. This is where it must be justice, Mr. Speaker. Why do I say this, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, if there is something that always hurts me so much, in fact, every time I'm driving into this house, at the parking, Mr. Speaker, you can tell my vehicle from the vehicles of the other senators, because it's a battered vehicle. It's a vehicle that looks like it came out of some hole because of our roads, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of our members who had contributed had spoken about roads at the northeastern, Mr. Speaker. And I would say, in fact, there are roads near Nairobi. There are counties that are the neighboring Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, but look worse than the road in the northern Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the county I come from has only one international road, the road that leaves Nairobi towards Arusha. That's the road that is in Kajiado, Mr. Speaker. The other road, Mr. Speaker, that is in Kajiado is courtesy of Uhuru Kenyatta, the road that began from Isara, Mashuru, Kajiado, and coming towards Kiserian, Ngong, and going to Suswa. The other road,
that's the road that is in Kajiado, Mr. Speaker.
President Kibaki.
The other road, Mr. Speaker, that is in Kajiado is courtesy of Uhuru Kenyatta. The road,
Mr. Speaker, our urban centers, Kitengela included, Mr. Speaker, when Senator Cherargei was talking about security roads, it made me think of the situation in Kitengela. In Kitengela, when we have demonstrations, there is only one road into Kitengela and out of Kitengela. And so the days of demonstration, life is at a standstill in Kitengela because we do not have any other road out of Kitengela. It's only the Arusha road. It's only the one international road going to Arusha. There is no other road. There are no link roads, Mr. Speaker. There are no diversions, Mr. Speaker. Kitengela can be brought to a standstill on one single day through demonstrations, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in Kajiado, until we cross over to try and join Mombasa Road, we don't have other roads that get into Kajiado, Mr. Speaker. Yet Kajiado, Mr. Speaker, has become the bedroom of many Kenyans who are working in Nairobi, Kenyans who have tried to invest and get their retirement homes in Kajiado, Mr. Speaker, because we are a
until we cross over
we are
to try and join Mombasa Road.
There is a good environment
We don't
in Kajiado
have other roads
where people can do their own food production. They can get fresh foods, get fresh milk. And so many of you, even those of you in this
Kajiado,
house, have interest
until we cross over
but I can tell
to
you,
try and join Mombasa
every
Road.
Kenyan who leaves Nairobi to come to Kajiado, the first thing they start doing is to bash the leaders of Kajiado that they are not working, that they have not done roads. It's not that we have not done roads. Seemingly,
since the dawn of
for any
time, stories have
community
connected
to
us.
enjoy roads,
Open Art
tarmac
brings the
roads,
tools to the storytellers of
they
today.
must have the president coming from their community. That's the only time people get roads.
Hello there, guys. Welcome to
Thika
tutorial.
Superhighway
So today I want us
was
to
done for
create
Central Kenya by
glitters. You know,
That is
glitters.
why
You can
today
use this
we are
creation
seeing,
for a lot of things. Personally, I've used
Mau
it
Summit
for
Rironi Road heading to the other direction of Kenya. So for those communities that will never enjoy the seat of the presidency of Kenya, then we remain with nothing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order, Senator Managu?
Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 105 on a statement of fact. Is it in order for Senator Peris to be?
So for those communities that will never enjoy the seat of the presidency of Kenya, then we remain with nothing, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I'm aware.
Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order, Senator
Managu? Kilometers all the way to Mandera to the border of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 105 on a statement of fact. Is it in order for Senator Peris to be? Been done, Honorable Speaker, is not leading to where the president comes from. In fact, it is leading to where the leader of this united opposition comes from, Honorable Speaker. Is it in order for Senator Peris to mislead Kenyans that roads are only done when the president comes to your region?
Senator Tobiko, you've heard the concerns by Senator Mandago. You may rephrase your statement to reflect what you meant, because you must have meant to say something, not what you said.
Yes.
It's been done, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
It's not leading to where the president comes from.
Mr.
In
Speaker,
fact, it is leading to where the leader of this united opposition comes
Maybe
from. Is it in
you
order
need to be
for Senator Paris to
politically aligned.
that roads are only done
Maybe
when the president
in
comes
this
to
country,
Senator Tobiko,
there are other
you've heard
factors
the
that are considered.
concerns by Senator Mandago. You may rephrase your statement to reflect
regions
what
to
you
get
meant, because
their fair
you
share
must have meant
of the roads infrastructure, Mr. Speaker. Why am I saying this, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Beatrice Tobiko, that is still misleading. That is still not the position of any other government in office.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to qualify my argument. Allow me to qualify my argument, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Kajiado is just here. Mr. Speaker, Kajiado is in the metropolitan area. Mr. Speaker, Kajiado should have been as connected to Nairobi as Kiambu is, and as Murang'a is, and as Machakos is, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am on record in this House mentioning the roads that are heading to the eastern region of this country from Mombasa Road, and comparing to roads heading to Kajiado. Mr. Speaker, I can mention should have been single road, Mr. Speaker, heading that has been tarmacked very, very recently, Mr. Speaker, towards Machakos, at Kinanie. There's one going to Kinanie, Mr. Speaker. There is a road going to Moa Hills, Mr. Speaker, which is tarmacked. Mr. Speaker, there is a road, interestingly, that goes to Stony Earthy Resort, and close there, Mr. Speaker, it would have crossed the railway line to Kajiado County, but does not cross the railway line, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a road that heads to Machakos Junction from Konza Junction, Mr. Speaker, and the same road on the Kajiado side, Mr. Speaker, is bare. It's Maram, but old Maram that has potholes, Mr. Speaker, when we see Kenyans who are our neighbors enjoying good tarmac roads, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are many other roads. There's another one in between, even between Machakos Junction and Konza Junction. There is another road, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, when I say the same roads should head to Kajiado, as they cross Mombasa Road to Machakos, let's have another one crossing to Kajiado. As they cross the road to Makueni, let's have another road crossing to Kajiado, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the road going to Magadi, when we see so narrow, Kenyans who are our neighbors, enjoying good tarmac roads, Mr. Speaker. That should be major, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are many other roads. There's another one in between, even between Machakos Junction and Konza Junction. There is around Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. The roads should be more than doubled because of the population around there, Mr. Speaker. But go to Kiseria, Mr. Speaker. You will find children going to school with mud because their roads are not tarmacked within Kiserian. The roads in Rongai, Mr. Speaker, are in terrible situation. And these are towns that are just neighboring Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the situation in Rongai should equal to the situation in Karen because we neighbor Karen, Mr. Speaker. Yet we look like we belong to another world, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the only thing I'm saying is that there should be equity in the distribution of resources, Mr. Speaker. You know, when Senator Mandago talks, I saw the roads in Eldoret, Mr. Speaker. You know, he comes from another world. We come from a different world. And I'm ready to invite him to my home so that he sees what I'm talking about, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our roads are bad. Mr. Speaker, Senator Cherargei had spoken about the SGR. The SGR crosses from Mombasa
crosses Kajiado County, but all the substations in Kajiado County are not working. They have not been operationalized. Why is it that the substations that are working is at Emali and Voi, but when it comes to Kajiado, the one at Stony Yathi is not operational? We've been treated like we do not need infrastructure, Mr. Speaker. We've been treated like Kenyans who are second-class citizens, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am stating facts. Anyone can go verify the situation in Kajiado, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, we must get it right with this bill. We must get it right now, or otherwise, then this House will participate in a situation which demoralizes other Kenyans, which antagonizes other Kenyans, which, Mr. Speaker, oppresses other Kenyans. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Paris Tobiko. Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for an opportunity to contribute to this amendment bill. And I'd like to join my colleagues to say that this is a bad bill which needs to be rejected or substantively amended. Honorable Speaker, after the 2010 Constitution was passed, the Constitution provided for the Transitional Authority. We established the Transitional Authority as a neutral body to try and help operationalize the fourth schedule to the Constitution. And that was to ensure that the national government does not act in self-interest in terms of assigning functions. And that's how the laws that operationalize the Constitution were put in place, and that's how the functions that were assigned to both levels were put to place. In 2013, after the elections, the first thing we saw was an overreach by national government. National government behaved as if it was a supervisor. And Senator Mandago, you are one of the first governors. You will recall they did not want to operationalize counties. They felt their job was to give capacity to governors. I'd like to commend my hero then, Governor Isaac Ruto, who was chair of Council of Governors, who refused and mobilized all the governors, and they fought until they were allowed to start operating as counties. Honorable Speaker, this bill is an attempt to play the same game. If you look at it, and Senator Mungatana, Senator Mogeni, Senator Tobiko have effectively spoken to this, you can see that the roads assigned to counties in this law have been downgraded. Now there is a new description defining what county roads are, and you can see the pathetic description saying that the county roads are the ones that link ward to ward and something that goes to the sub-county, as if a sub-county is not part of a county. You can see clearly, and Honorable Senator Mungatana, I don't know why you did not pick this. This was specifically done to save Kura and Kera, because the roads under Kura and the roads under Kera are county roads. So this amendment is being put so that the lower roads to those in Kera and Kura will now be the county roads, and Kura and Kera roads will be defined as belonging to national government. Therefore, we retain Kura and Kera as parastatals of national government. Honorable Senators, you are aware that IGRTZ has provided a gazette notice, and part of the parastatals that are supposed to be wound up is Kura and Kera. So this law, I can tell you the main objective of this law is to downgrade county functions in order to save Kura and Kera. I don't know who did this because I don't believe Davis Chirchir would have done this. I rank him as my number one CS. And he is a sober man. I have personally discussed with him about Kura and Kera, and he said he wants the laws to be followed as they are. This is somebody trying to treat counties as if they are some little thing that should be about the village and the ward and nothing more. Clearly, National Assembly, which have been guiding or leading or determining the roads that Kura and Kera do, want to add this as an appendage of the NGCDF. Let us call a spade a spade. Honorable Senators, if you pass this law, you might as well resign en masse. You might as well resign. Because your primary role is to protect devolution. This one is clawing back on devolution. Having downgraded and decided the counties will only do these roads in the wards that are connecting to sub-counties, they then give mandate to authorities. To the counties, when planning, they must plan with the authorities. So now, even the counties cannot carry out their functions as distinct entities. They need the authorities to clear their plans. Honorable Senators, now the Roads Board and the CS become the ones to determine how to categorize a public road, forgetting that the two entities meet at the intergovernmental level. They decide which standards should be there, which is a national government role, should be set up by a national government, but counties independently should be implementing their functions, respecting those standards that have been set up by national government. It was never intended that a parastatal would be the one supervising counties on the delivery of their mandate. So looking at this bill, I need not go very far with this bill. Clearly, there is something fundamentally wrong. And I think it would be wrong of us to pass the law because, in fact, I don't know who the mover is. I don't know whether it is a government bill, I'm sorry to say, or whether it's a private member's bill. And if it is a government bill, I want to speak to Your Excellency, our President of the Republic of Kenya. One of the promises you gave is that you would deliver and you would protect devolution. Please don't allow some of your crazy advisors to advise you to fall into the trap where you will soon be told you are fighting devolution and yet you promise to deliver devolution. There is nothing wrong. All we want is roads to be delivered. And our constitution has provided a formula. And we have county and national government roads. What we need is faithful transfer of funds that have been undertaking county functions at the national level. And then we meet at the intergovernmental connection to evaluate, to find out how we are delivering on these services.
Senator Perez Tobiko.
Mr. Speaker, is Senator Muma in order to say that some of the advisors of the president are crazy? Mr. Speaker, don't you think she needs to qualify that statement? and tell us those who are crazy and if she has evidence of their craziness, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Muma, that is not from you. You may need to rephrase it. And
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to replace the word crazy with incompetent. Honorable Speaker, whoever advises the President that county functions should be reversed by the National Assembly or the Cabinet Secretary or the Roads Board is an incompetent advisor and they need to be fired. Sorry to use the word crazy, I meant incompetent. Thank you, Honorable Senator Tobiko. And the President needs competent. He is our number one in the country. And our number one cannot have people who allow him to bring laws to this house that will be challenged in the court. Yesterday I was speaking to this. It looks very bad when we pass a law and 2 weeks later that law is set aside because it has provisions that are unconstitutional. When it is a bill moved by the majority, it makes the executive look bad. When it is a bill moved either by the executive or the private members, it makes the houses look bad. And let us call a spade a spade. And I am pleading as senators, let us not fall into the trap of assisting those who are incompetent to make our country look bad. Even for those who love the President, show your love by ensuring that we pass the laws that are aligned to the Constitution. I am sure the President has no problem if he wants to deliver 10,000 kilometers of road. He can deliver those 10,000 kilometers of road through a good coordination of both levels of government. And we have an intergovernmental mechanism. He has a summit where he will sit with the county governments. He has a mechanism through additional allocations fund where he can decide, if I want to fast track roads in Kajiado, this is the way to go about it. This law is not taking us there. This law is taking us backward. Honorable Speaker, I believe we need to meet and decide, is the Roads Board an actor for national government, or do we want the Roads Board to be an intergovernmental mechanism? If the Roads Board is an actor for national government, all it can do is set standards. All it can do is provide a regulation, and what it might do is supervise, if it wants to supervise or implement the part of the function that belongs to national government. If the Roads Board is to be an intergovernmental mechanism that we want to be able to guide both levels, we need to craft its mandates and functions to reflect that. But we cannot take the county functions and make the counties look as if they are a department that is answerable to the Roads Board. This is the 14th year since we started implementing devolution. It is the 16th year since we passed the 2010 Constitution. Honorable Speaker, I am pleading with this House. We are getting out of hand on the question of disrespect for the rule of law, as led by the Parliament, National Assembly, and the Senators. And yet, we are apparently the ones who should be understanding how to write good laws, how to protect the Constitution. We are here to represent the people to ensure that we protect the Constitution. I am disappointed at this kind of law, and I am requesting that the relevant committee call a meeting, whether it's a kamkunji of everyone, but must not allow this amendment bill, must not defend it in this Senate. Let us do what is right. Let us find the language to persuade the National Assembly that they all come from counties. There is no constituency that is out of a county. So I don't know why National Assembly must keep fighting counties. Article 6 provides for a collaborative and cooperative type of devolution in Kenya. It was never intended that the National Assembly would be at the forefront, a representative of the people, fighting the constitutional provisions on the kind of governance that the people of Kenya chose. And I personally am just tired of this type of laws. I am tired of how much the taxpayer is spending in courts on embarrassing litigation about laws that have been passed by people calling themselves the #1 lawmakers in Kenya. Let us do what is right. I reject, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this Kenya Roads Amendment Bill number 3, 2025, National Assembly Bill number 34. Honorable Speaker, first, let me say that the amendments that have been brought to this House, Honorable Speaker, are not consistent with the distribution of functions by the Constitution of Kenya, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the classification process, the Ministry of Roads have unilaterally decided, Honorable Speaker, to classify the roads without the involvement of counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in this classification, it is clear that there are roads that are currently under counties that are being upgraded to national government roads